Hello and welcome to Heroes and Generals Devstream number 29, live from Copenhagen. I'm Rito Gargamel and we have with us game director Rito Radbjarne. And it's time for a monthly, it's going to be monthly now, Q&A session. We're going to talk a little bit also about some of the, kind of recap some of the stuff on the new update, UTS update. I'm going to start, I guess, by showing something we didn't have time to show last time.
Yeah, this is going to debunk a rumor that's been circulating on the forums.
I guess.
Go ahead and play it.
Is it full screen? No.
Yeah.
Full screen that. Yes. So this guy, obviously Russian special forces or something. What is he doing? Oh my God! He's walking around with a PTRD.
Oh my fucking God!
But as you can see, like his stamina bar is down to 0. But
this is awesome.
You can totally walk around with a PTRD, and yep.
If you're a superhuman Spetsnaz guy, that's
he's like he had steroids in his mother's milk, but still. So yeah, and we could show the same video with the MG42 also.
Yeah, that's easy to find on YouTube.
To find, yeah.
But this one is just that's classic.
Yep. This being said, I think I should show.
Okay. Well, they're already correcting us. It's not
the PTRD.
Obviously, not a PTRD. It's not a modern version of something. But you get it. Same size of gun. That's it. Not exactly the same, but.
So I'm gonna go to the forum. I should have done that before. Sorry.
And then now they're going on about you never hit any target. Oh, obviously not. It's all about what it's possible to fire that weapon from the hip or from the shoulder.
Changelog. I wanted to show that. I guess we could just like put the link in the chat. But let's update changelog. There you go. This there. Where is it? Where's the first page? Bam! So all the features that were added on the latest update are visible on the changelog here on our forum. You just search for changelog and you'll find it. It's changelog. So the real thing is on the first page. So if you end up on the latest post, you won't see the juicy bit. And I think in there we might want to mention the chat. People have been a little bit weirded out by that. We introduced something that makes it a little bit more manageable to browse in the chat window. But what it does is basically somebody who hasn't said anything in 10 minutes will not be visible in the users list on the chat. So if you walk into a chat room and you see like just 4 names on the left, that doesn't mean there's not also 800 people in the chat room with you. And we're going to add a counter
in there. As well, but that's basically just because the current version here, the last version where we had like 1,000 players in one list, it doesn't really make sense to have the list at all with so many people in it. So yeah, names are only visible for people who actually typed something in the chat.
Yep. Right. So that's one thing that's been puzzling people. Another thing worth mentioning, there was a bug with war funds. The war funds are a little bit moody. Thing is, the players who had ATs deployed on the campaign map that were still alive when we deployed UTS, when we took the servers down for the update, these ATs were not refunded as they should have been. So when we do we're going to do another maintenance next week. We're going to deploy some more hotfixes, and when we do that, then we will give you a free deploy of everything you got. And what that means is basically the guys who did not get their refund, they'll actually get a little bit more than what they didn't get. So everybody wins.
Oh, and can I say something? There's actually one issue that we should just talk a little bit about. Sorry for just cutting in here, but a guy is Iorus. He's asking about the changelog that doesn't have all the change in it. And we usually see people sort of like thinking that we
try to hide
something by not adding it to the changelog. The thing is, the changelog is not always complete because it's some changes might actually happen on different streams and stuff. So it's actually quite a bit bit of a task to collect all the different bits and pieces that were changed in the game from build to build. So stuff might not just be in the changes. We're not deliberately trying to hide stuff. It's just
sometimes people don't say that they fixed something.
Yeah, it's not everything that people get into the change log. It's actually the programmers and the artists themselves who have to fill in the change log.
So every time they change something, they have to remember to write it down somewhere.
But then sometimes changes happens on different streams that were sort of like targeted for a certain release, but for some odd reason got merged into the release that's newer, for example. And so it's definitely not because we're trying to hide stuff. It's just that list it's almost impossible for us to make it a complete list.
So it's really, I mean, Robotron, who makes this changelog, has to run around and kind of, harass people to make sure you got all the information. Really, because it's something that when you have a large team effort, it's very hard to kind of keep track of everything that everybody did.
For example, the changes that we made on the assault teams, the sizing and the speeds and everything we did for changing those for the Uts build, that was actually changes that were meant to come into an add-on for Timoshenko. But just because we had so many problems on the server side, we decided to just park those changes on the test server for a while, and we just simply forgot to add those changes to the Uts changelog. So Robotron had to add them in the last minute because people started complaining about what actually happened here, and they said, "Oh fuck, we just completely forgot that we have." So that was actually new changes that we were meant to release in an add-on and not in a full build. So it's definitely not because we're trying to hide stuff. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to.
It's a funny kind of way to put it. Like we're hiding stuff. Like we're hiding it so that you kind of have to guess that it's there. No, it's like
some of it is also very, very detailed. So it might not be worth actually putting into a changelog. It might just cause more confusion than it actually helps. Usually we have the changelog purely for it's like an internal changelog purely for QA purposes. So the test team have some chance of testing what has been added to the build before it goes out. So it's more like a service to the community that we take the QA test log and just release it. And obviously feature creeps into the game once in a while as well. So
it's really out there for informational purposes, but it's not. It's not supposed to be complete, unfortunately, but we do our best. And I guess speaking of not giving out always complete and accurate information, last week I was, I guess, a victim of confirmation bias, and I spoke out of my ass. And I was showing you the machine guns. I was showing you the LMG and saying, there's less sway per bullet. Not sway, but
something per bullet.
Less penalty per bullet for it's not the
So
LMG, it's the SMG. So I showed you, I think, MG42. It should have been a MP40 or a Thompson or whatever. But the weapons that have become more stable are once again not light machine guns but submachine guns. This being said, I guess
let's talk about the heavy machine guns.
Let's talk about what are those?
Those are coming in a future build. No.
No.
Continue.
I'm going to pretend that
I'm trying to confuse you, and I'm succeeded.
It's mission accomplished. So, questions we got from the forum. Questions about usually it's about.
Actually, I would say that there's a lot of actually pretty good questions on this time around. I think that's proof that we're going to have these QA sessions only once a month, so we can pick out the good questions rather than just the when are we going to see the STG and stuff like that we usually get.
Holy crap! Holy crap! Did you just see that? Splixen sent us a transmission from.
So it's not even. You're wrong again.
I'm wrong again. It's semi-auto. Okay, I guess we shouldn't we show it?
Yeah.
So that it's clear once and for all. Okay, so it's less aim penalty per bullet for semi-auto rifles and not SMGs. Okay, and wow, I got like a bazillion. Yeah, it's semi-auto. I get it. Like we got a bazillion like Skype windows that just opened to tell me no, you idiot. So
and this guy's just like, I'm just saying, don't ask this question again. And he's just, when do we see the SGG?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's. But yeah, let's go and fix my. I did it. Yeah, my blunder is what I'm looking for. By going and playing the graphics build here. Gonna show
this
it
does
now.
not sound good. What is it? Yeah, no, just go ahead.
Yeah, make up your mind.
Who's this? When is SCG 44 coming out?
What is that?
What is it? What the SCG? Why do people want that? Yeah.
STG.
We're gonna release it only for American tankers.
Definitely, because I mean that's
the most realistic use of that
in
weapon.
most movies, and
most
if not
we've
history
seen.
books.
Yeah. That's where we see it most likely.
So, yeah, I'm gonna show it because otherwise it's. I think it's. So, once and for all, less. What was it again? I'm gonna read it straight from the horse's mouth. Less sway from moving, less aim penalty per bullet. So what this means, if the thing will start, I think it's because I'm loading the big map, isn't it? Yeah, that's why. This guy, whatever, here. Okay, so when
one
you
carbine.
are,
You guys gonna love the changes to the M1 carbine.
So this is the Garand. It's a semi-auto rifle. So what this means is like when you're moving like this, there's less, the sway is less crazy when you're moving sideways, and the aim penalty we're talking about is I think when you're firing like that, the see how the crosshairs contract. That means you're stabilizing the rifle a little bit better between each shot. And I'm gonna just take a look here to see if that if I get any more messages from Splixon saying that I'm talking out of my ass, I will.
Now it's Splixon talking out of his ass.
Is he? No, wait. But so that's what's been tweaked. We're talking about a little bit more stability when you're swiveling and when you're aiming in quick succession. And actually, I was I checked that yesterday. There was a guy asking me about what combat badge I should use to reduce sway, and he was talking about Deadeye. But Deadeye, what it doesn't, I think we covered that recently, but I'm gonna just maybe mention it again. When you sway, you have really two types of sway, right? You have how much time it takes for you to get a clear sight after you stop moving, but there's also how much how much your rifle gets off target when you're.
There's both a movement component and an animation component.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Deadeye badge, I don't want to say anything silly here. The Deadeye badge makes the crosshairs contract faster, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's what it is. So that means you kind of stop shaking and stop, and you start pointing straight ahead faster. And the other one, the quick draw, that's the one that makes you move less when you're rotating, when you're turning around. So both of them kind of influence sway, but
the pointer quickfire.
But the pointer quickfire, but that one,
that's just
just for hip firing.
Yeah.
So
actually, the funny thing that this pointer is actually a U.S. Army approved technique that you can learn.
Okay.
And it's usually used for pistols, but it's also usable for rifles and basically any weapon you want to fire quickly. Is that instead of using your what is it called, your pointy finger for your trigger finger, you use your fuck finger instead to shoot with.
Okay.
And then you point with your pointy finger. For some bizarre reason, humans are just. Then you sort of like you just have to point where you want to shoot, and you actually sort of like hit that target, which is a bit bizarre. But that's the technique if you want to point and shoot.
Maybe because the
I've read some crazy old U.S. Army manual about this stuff. Apparently, it's
because the index is kind of
probably, I think it's just because this is the finger you used to point with all the time or something like that.
I don't know. I'm not going to start speculating on that. But if you look at the way that the iron sights, look at that here. When I sway from side to side, I know it's like motion sickness inducing if I do it too much. But you see how the sights are not aligned. If you look in like straight through they start to really so that's what you can reduce with the quick draw badge. Anyway, this being said, that's I digress. We're going to get back to the questions that we were supposed to address.
Address at least, not necessarily answer them, but
no, just to read them out loud and
just say this is just
acknowledge them.
Yeah.
So first one from Gerhard. He's saying, can we have a cap limit for a cap/limit for pilots, tankers, recons per battle? So basically all the specialized guys, so that we don't have 18 recons sitting in the woods and nobody capturing.
Yeah, obviously, yes, that's something that we're looking into. That's an unfortunate side effect of our resource pooling, and we're looking into like correcting that thing.
But I think we can repeat that resource pooling the way it is right now. It's a kind of in between stage.
Yeah, we just had some trouble with the matchmaker. Sometimes fills up battles with too many players of a certain kind, and yes, we are going to look into making that more evenly balanced. Yes.
Yep.
Next question.
Next question. That's a long one. I guess we can. I'm gonna read the whole thing. Blaine UK is asking: is it your intention to have tanks use realistic armor and penetration values? In most cases, they do actually have realistic values, but there are, however, exceptions. Like the Hellcat is an exception, having double the armor it had historically, and the Panzer IV also has less penetration than it had historically. If it's intentional, what is the reasoning behind this? Are you planning on providing a way to show this information to players in the user interface? For example, what kind of armor you have and how much penetration and damage the different types of shells do? So, answer to that.
That's a lot of questions rolled into one big question, I guess. I've been talking a little bit with the action team about the armor model that we're using, and they are working at least on the design in the design stage on a next iteration of the armor model. And at that time, I guess these questions will be addressed. The Hellcat and the Panzer IV, I don't know why the Panzer IV is not historically accurate, but I will ask the guy that set it up and get a straight answer. I'm pretty sure it has to do with some gameplay tweak or something that he did. The Hellcat we haven't gotten around to actually correcting that yet. It's still one of those leftovers from the really early days when the Hellcat had to counter the Tiger as well. So in that time we changed a lot of the values, skewed them from the correct values, just in order to have a more fun game, basically. And some of those values haven't actually been corrected yet. That's also why you still see that a lot of people actually complain that the Hellcat, the turret shouldn't be providing you with a lot of cover, but it actually does, because it's an open turret. So that stuff will be fixed at some point as well. So hopefully, do
you mean that you could toss a grenade inside?
You cannot hide inside a Hellcat. That way makes it very vulnerable. But obviously, it has a huge cannon.
It's true, because all the other open vehicles you can toss grenades inside, no problem. And,
we'll fix that when we come around to making the next vehicle pass. We are going to make a vehicle pass very soon. Actually, we have just completed a weapons pass where we tweaked a lot of minor issues, annoyances on the weapons. and we're probably going to speak about that in a session from now on, a week or two, I guess. But we're going to do the same thing about the vehicles. We've been collecting a lot of data on how the vehicles actually perform, but it's a huge set of data that we have to plow through in order to see how stuff actually performs. And we can see that obviously, there are some inconsistencies. Funnily enough, it seems like the users tend to find those annoyances by just purely playing the game, but we would like to get the metrics behind it just to verify that they're actually right before we start changing stuff. And Oxan told me that he actually spotted a few oddities in the data, so we are going to come around and tweak these things, hopefully, so it's to the better. Speaking of the armor model, I think from what I understand, on the next iteration of the armor model, we're going to go a bit more in the direction of having what you would call internal organs of a tank. Right now we have a purely hit point based system, which means that if you penetrate the hatch of an open hatch of a tank, it actually takes hit points away from the tank. And we would like to go more in the direction of having internal collision objects that has to be hit before you deduct damage from the tank, which means you have to penetrate the armor in order to damage it. Obviously, this
as in like it's not just like right now you penetrate the armor and you do damage right away, but you're saying like you have to penetrate the armor and then hit something inside, right?
Yeah. Or the thing you hit actually determines how much hit points is going to be deducted from the tank. Problem with this stuff here is that realistically, as soon as you penetrate a tank with an armor-piercing shell, everybody dies. That's just there really isn't any way around because the amount of kinetic energy it takes to penetrate a thick armor plating produces so much heat and energy that everybody would just be cooked instantly inside the tank. But this is a game where we would like to it should be a little bit more fun. So we obviously we would like to add like ricocheting armor shells and the possibility that you have to hit the tank a few times for it to take it out. So it's a balance between super realism and something that's a bit more gamey, fun to play. It's the same way as we have the damage model for the characters. Usually you would have players say, "Oh, it has to be realistic. As if you're gonna get hit by a rifle bullet, you will obviously you wouldn't be able to just run around and shoot. You would be almost dead or at least lying and bleeding somewhere. But that's just not very fun for a game. So we opted for this scale of 2 to 3 hits, unless you're close and have the perfect shot, headshots and whatnot. So it is a game, and we need to find a balance between this. Realism and fun, and the armor model has to be discussed a little bit more, so we find a good balance between those things. Also, you don't want to have to learn too much detail about the tank in order to take it out. You should know some basic stuff. The front armor might be the thickest, the side armor is skinny, top armor is nothing, and from the rear it might be paper thin as well. So there should be some basic ideas about where the thickness of the armor is, and not specialized in you have to hit this exact part of the tank in order to penetrate it, and you have to do it from this angle because then you're going to hit the engine and stuff like that. It might be a little bit too complicated. You still need this game to be fun to play for like more than just tank fanatics. Yeah. So that I think, I don't know if this actually answers all these, or the question with many answers. I don't know. But
I guess we should mention. I think you made a note here that it's again, when we talk about these things, is like it's not for the next build. It's not for the next update. Whenever we show something or talk about something here, we're mostly discussing either future plans. If we say this is the next build, we will I think we'll underline it really. Like usually when we talk about upcoming features, just to say that we've acknowledged.
If you would please don't write that everything is confirmed and it'll get into the next release, then we can start talking about stuff that's further out in the future.
Yeah,
which would be nice actually.
Yeah. But I guess that covers the armor model. There's a question from how are you supposed to read that? Johnston Brockelstein. Brockelstein?
John Broccoli.
Yeah, it's like broccoli. Anyway, Johnston.
Healthy guy.
So Johnston is asking, are you planning to add incentives for spotting? Maybe a XP reward or credits or gold for the most spotting in a battle. What do you think about that?
It sounds like a good idea, but I think when we discussed it, it can be abused.
It can be a terrible idea.
Yeah, it could be a terrible idea.
Because basically you're just, rewarded for sitting somewhere and looking. It's it's too easy to just exploit that.
It seems like the spotting is actually being used quite a lot now.
It's its own reward, isn't it?
So we are looking into how to improve the spotting to make it even more useful in the game.
I can think of I think one time when I really kind of realized how important it was. I was playing on the airfield as an infantry guy, and I was far out, separated from my team. And then there's this tiger comes along, and I'm like, shit! And I just looked at it long enough, and somebody took him out from me. So I was like, I had my life saved just because I was spotting the guy. And I was thinking, that's the reward is there in itself. You don't die, you win, your team wins. That's what spotting is for. So saying like, you should spot because then you get XP. It's like, then you do it, not because it's useful or not because you want to win, but because you're grinding. That's not the way it should be.
Yeah. So, we had I had a talk this morning with Wille about he's working on some new optics, and we thought about he was asking about if we should add some of that for the binoculars, and we just talked about how we could improve the binoculars to be more effective when spotting and stuff like that. So yes, it's but I think just directly rewarding would probably be too easy to exploit.
So moving on to the I think this page goes with the other one. Honestly, I give up. Okay, I get it. So, Rebels is asking, isn't it time to raise the entry rank to play war battles? Saying that basically the number of people who do not know how to play wars is depressing. I mean, it should be enough to raise the required rank to 5 or 6, and let into the war battles only the soldiers that reach that rank. So it's more of a request, I guess. But I mean, so what should we do that? Should we raise the rank?
Yes. I totally agree. I think for the short term, we are going to move the unlock for the tankers and the planes and stuff further up in the progression tree, and maybe also the tier for unlocking the campaign missions. And on the long run, we are working on a player leveling system that runs in parallel with the rankings of the soldiers, just in order to have somewhere where we can more finally see how skilled the player is so we can match them even better together, and also so you have some sort of like it might be like a skill-based progression system where you can see how far what you have unlocked in the game that you can play. It is actually turning into a bit of a bigger feature where we roll in an achievement system with as well. So we have achievements that once you completed this task, we know that you can do it. Like it could be a super simple thing as like capture a capture point, and we know the player knows how that mechanic works, and just join a skirmish battle and win the skirmish battle. So there's a lot of very simple achievement that we could sort of like string together to form progression, a skill-based progression, where we know when people have completed all these 15 achievements, we can open up to the war and say, now you are ready to play in the war. Because yes, it is annoying that and we also get that complaint from a lot of new players, that they too get scared of being dropped directly into the big battles with all the advanced players and tanks and planes and everything everywhere, and the shift from tier 1 to tier 2 is just so dramatic that it's crazy. So that's definitely one of the things we're working on to get into like a more smooth ride. And hopefully, if you could get an achievement system rolled into that part as well, that would be excellent. But also, we really lack a system to show the players at what level they are as a player, and not what level their character is. So that's kind of like what we are looking into, and obviously that mechanic could be used for unlocking war and different game modes and different character classes and stuff like on an overall level. So, but obviously not next build.
But working on it.
We're working on it. Yeah, definitely something that has our focus.
I guess that somebody should look back and say, like, back in Devstream number something, we were talking about this thing. See, and so many weeks later, it was true. It was a reality. But yeah, maybe when we've done it for
now you have your
the year in review or something like that.
Now they're gonna make they promised this and this that time and they haven't delivered yet. Well.
Yeah, but that you can only do that if you watch every single dev stream. You do like a marathon where you watch us talking for 13 hours in a row. So nobody's going to do that, so we're safe. So
are you challenging them?
It's a challenge.
It's a
challenge accepted. So the next question would be from, it's a popular question from Idrahil Mirlo, 1989, and am I reading this right? Abatrejo. Will you make it possible to hide or delete characters in the near future? I don't want this level 0 Soviet, German, US characters showing up in my character
actually,
roster.
I just talked with the UI guys about possible ways to do this, and they came up with several different solutions, which I'm going to at some point discuss with them. It seems like to be a very small thing, and a lot of people seems to be concerned that they are so much into playing the Russians that they don't want to see a German soldier in the interface.
And vice versa.
So it's probably going to be some sort of a setting you have to switch on in the options menu somewhere that would hide maybe hide characters from other factions, or hide characters that are not in your war faction. And there's several different ways to solve this problem, but at least it's been raised now for the UI guys.
Right. Next question. Matt6767 and Tonton are asking any chance to increase the number of players in a battle to more than 36? Something like that.
I think we had that question before, right?
It's a popular question.
It's a popular question. Yeah. And the popular answer is we're not going to do that.
It's not a maybe. It's
we're not going to do that now. Maybe at some point when we feel comfortable that we have optimized the physics and the network code enough to facilitate raising the number of players. But it's our opinion that the game is actually fun enough with 36 players, and it might be too chaotic with too many players in it. So it might not make it better to have more players, basically, what I'm trying to say. So that's the answer.
That remains to be seen. SC Gavin is asking, how is experience gained for characters using assault teams calculated? Say there's a character that is ranked major with one motorized infantry assault team, and this assault teams participate in a battle. How much experience towards the next rank would the character get? Is it dynamic? Is it static? So
I guess he means that he's
talking about officer XP.
The rank XP.
He's talking about how much XP you get from exactly your rank XP. How much do you increase it when you field an assault team?
I can see that it actually because the rank stats, that was the wrong one. I'm just going to pull up some of my spreadsheets here so I can see what the actual numbers is. So I'm not going to lie to you. The XP needed to rise in ranks above the usual sergeants and from the non-commissioned officers to the officers is a lot. It takes a lot of XP to go from rank 12 to rank 13, for example, which also means that the numbers that you earn from having your assault teams in battle is actually quite significant compared to just being in battle with your rifle. The amount of XP your character will gain is dependent on the resources that his assault team is credited with killing, basically. So if you have a guard team, send them in, and your guard team kills one other soldier of the other one enemy soldier, your general or your officer will receive 140 XP.
And that number changes as you rise in rank, right? Am I mistaken? No, that number stays the same.
No. The only thing that rises in rank is the salary that players are.
Okay.
So that's only the credit price.
So those numbers are static.
Those numbers are static.
Killing an enemy soldier is worth the same thing for.
You can see there's some other multipliers here. I can say that you get, just to compare, if you run around on the battlefield and try to kill somebody, you make one kill, that gives you 5 XP instead. So obviously, being in charge of an assault team that kills the same guy, you as an officer will have 140 XP
as opposed to 5.
As opposed to 5.
So you get 140 divided.
The thing is that your character will gain XP without being engaged directly in the battle.
It's like 28 times more.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's so as an officer, you basically get, and this multiplier is just because we want to create a difference between commanding and playing as a.
It is because that when you in order to reach the really high rank, you have to engage yourself in the campaign game. Otherwise, it will be really hard for you to rise in rank. Which it should be obviously possible. So most players or good players would play both the campaign game with their assault teams, and they would actually join in the action game as well, and that would even more boost their XP earnings. There's another example here. If you shoot down a fighter plane, that will if you credit with a kill of a fighter plane, that would credit your character with 2,400 XP for just one plane.
Yes.
If you were rank rank 0, that would.
If you were an officer, that's the thing. It's like
but just translated to the lower ranks, that would instantly boost you from rank 0 to rank 3.
Yeah.
Rank 2, which obviously just for one plane. So, but it is in order to make it having at least actually there's a stair step, but also having a very increased XP requirement for the higher ranks.
You said it increases logarithmically, right? It's
not really. There's some stair stepping in there as well. So it's all the numbers have been adjusted.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously you start out with having an exponential curve, and then you start to move some of them around to make different levels at different ranks. It's actually, I don't know, some of our old players might remember that we at one point had a two-pronged rank system where we had like tactical XP and combat XP.
It was confusing the hell out of everybody.
It was very, very confusing.
Yeah.
So we decided to just merge it into one more traditional system. The idea with the old system was that you progress fast in the tactical. Actually, the tactical XP would be easier to hit high ranks if you do tactical stuff in the game. And combat, just running around and killing, would only get you to like rank 4 or 5. easily, then it would be really, really hard. And the two ranks were added together to form your other rank. I can hear that it obviously it's nobody understood how that or few understood how it worked.
But correct me if I'm wrong. So the idea with rank, it's not how skilled you are as a player overall. It's how skilled you are at commanding, isn't it?
Yeah.
At some point, it's like you rise in rank because you're more apt to be a leader, and so the goal there is to encourage good leaders.
Yeah, and also to get your assault teams into battles with like high value targets like the tanks and the planes, because that will really boost your XPs rather than just trying to shoot down infantry. Infantry is obviously apart from motorcycles and jeeps are the ones that give you less XP. It is it is armor that actually gives you the most. Obviously, these numbers haven't really been revisited for a long time, so I might need to pull out some stats and check if they are still the correct numbers. Sometimes we make some metrics, some data runs where we pull out a lot of data on the game and see how stuff actually works. Like for example, the ribbon progression. How fast does pilots generally progress in this ribbon, and then we can see if it's too hard or too easy, and then we'll adjust it accordingly.
Yeah, when we say metrics, I guess one of those things we can maybe define. It's the data we get from what happens in the game, the measurements of what people do in the game, everything basically.
Yeah, we pull data out of the. We record everything players do, and then we can pull out the data and see if. How they're actually doing. That's also why when you guys comment on stuff on the forums and stuff, we usually go, oh, they might be right, but they also might not, and we try to pull out data to see if you guys are right or wrong before we do anything. So and that actually sometimes it actually takes quite a while to get the correct data, because you can also get data out of that that's either wrong or you read it wrongly or something. It's not easy to just take out data and say, okay, well, this number shows this and this, and you can say, oh, no, because if you look at it this way, it means something completely different. So, yeah.
So, I guess we covered it. I'll let you set up.
Try to run away.
Is this where I am? Yes. Warf is asking, will the new inverse kinematic system, with the new inverse kinematic system, soldiers now tilt themselves while turning? So does the soldier's hitbox tilt as well? And how will this affect hit detection?
Oh, yeah. It's obviously the hit detection boxes are linked to the same skeleton, so yeah, they will do exactly the same.
So yeah, I mean, I was going to start the thing to show it, but I don't even remember the console command for it. I just realized. But I mean, the only thing we would show you is like the skeleton is, if the guy's tilting, the skeleton's tilting.
I have to think of the hit detection as being it's the same part. It's part of the character as well. It's just like an invisible geometry that follows the character's skeleton. Obviously, the character is deformed by the skeleton, and the hitboxes follow. So,
and there were some, I think, before the was that the Spatz build.
Yeah,
that's when we introduced the new hit detection, wasn't it? Spatz add-on. I can't remember which one it was. It was in the fall, and at that time, I think that's when most of the oddities in the hit detection were kind of fixed, I guess, for good. So that, I mean, right now you can assume that the skeleton and the hit boxes are lined up properly and doing what they're supposed to do. I'm just going to check here if we didn't get any new messages. That's good. Where was I going to go next? This one. Focus is asking, will you implement a system that allows generals to close an AT based on the need of the battle? For instance, if you don't believe that the battle will further require tanks, will you let us close the tank spawns to prevent waste?
That's kind of like I see where you're coming from, but right now we have a function that's called retreat. So you can just retreat your tanks. Obviously, that will come with a penalty, but it would be a strange thing to put in because when do you know that you have won? For example, you don't know if the enemy is just about to add shitload of new resources to the battle, for example. So it really isn't something you could do and say close out the tanks or your assault team. Another reason for us to add the retreat penalty is we don't really like the idea of a general just removing all the resources from an ongoing battle, because that would just suck for the action players that suddenly all the resources are removed. So in order to prevent this, we leave some resources behind for the action players to keep playing, and also to encourage that the generals they have to think a little bit before they actually commit their forces to a battle, because.
So if you try to basically, if it's overkill to send tanks, well, you should know that from the start that it's overkill by looking at what forces are against you. And I guess because I think when we were reading that the first time, we're like, so I want my tanks to be there when they can earn me rewards, and I want to pull them out when it's a risk for me, or when it. That's not how it works.
No. It's risky business.
So I guess
I think that
the answer to that is strategy.
Yeah. Just retreat and think before you commit.
I guess you should. I think you did already kind of hint at what's coming for retreat and all that.
Yeah, that's going to and I think that is the next build. But it seems like a minor feature, but it actually should have a great effect on the how the strategy game works.
I can't find it now, but I was going to go and look at the briefing document that we had. I think
we'll talk about that next time.
I think it's the next build, but but morale basically. Yeah. The idea that sometimes you would kind of choose to retreat to avoid losing your entire assault team because it's already kind of not in good shape. Yeah. But we'll talk about that when it's kind of more closer to being ripe.
It is probably not something that's going to make the strategy game even more difficult to play. It's going to be more hardcore, but.
I guess it should slow down the spamming also in a way.
Well, at least the spamming will sort of wear off pretty quickly because it's punished a lot.
So, but later. Next question is from Schmuxi.
What?
That word is. it has W, X, and Y in it. That's.
Excellent.
Like at least 30 points at Scrabble. When will you guys? When will you guys add the scopes for the bolt action rifles in the weapon mods section?
The what? The what? What is he talking about?
I don't know. What the hell is he talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. Wait, maybe. Well, I don't know. Red.
I went 3.9.
Yeah, maybe 4. I think maybe 4.
I think that's at least a 4.
Can we have a next question?
I think what Robotron was suggesting as an answer is we will do this when we are done deconfabulating the reticle ostracizer.
Oh yeah.
So that's something we should.
That's
be
nearly
doing.
Done, right?
That's nearly done. So. Next question is from Matt6767. Since different scopes can now be mounted, did you know that?
Somebody have a crystal ball, I guess.
Did you know that? I guess.
Can you send me the link for where you bought that crystal ball? I would love one of those as well.
What is he talking about?
I need to do some adjustments to my stock portfolio with that ball.
It's one of those 8 balls. Yes. Maybe. So, actually, the guy's asking. He's not even talking about the scopes. The question is about now that we can have scopes, will we get other interesting modifications like a 250 round belt for the machine gun?
I can say that we are working on physical modifications for the weapons. We've started doing the data backend structure and how to construct all the fittings and things that's required for the 3D models in order to actually attach stuff to the weapons. So if a 250 round magazine is reasonable for a machine gun in some way, yeah, sure, we'll look at that. But we have like a ton of other stuff that we would like to add to the weapons before that, I think. We actually also discussed what penalty should it give you to have a 250 round build of shots in the action game. So if you have any ideas, bring them on
the forum.
Yeah.
The next question would be, and I think that's actually the last one from our sheet. Mirlo 1989 is asking, could you guys in the Devstream explain what the difference between the SMKL, which is Schussmit
Kern with that's
Leidenschaft.
Lichtspür.
Yeah, okay,
It's tracer.
And the other one, the SMK
that's basically just a bug that will get fixed. It's a bug that the FD42 can use this ammunition because that is intended for the Panzer I. And the reason for this is that we have to divide those two ammunition types up between the weapons and some of the vehicles that use machine guns. So there's some technical reasons for that. There's no gameplay reasons for that. So,
but what that means is that you see two types of ammo that looks exactly the same and cost different things.
Yeah. It basically has to do with the amount of bullets you buy. You need a lot more ammunition for the tanks than you do for the rifles. So the amount of bullets per ammunition is actually put on the data of the ammunition and not on the like a box of ammunition. It's a data structure backend stuff that's probably need to be corrected at some point. But right now we're doing it this way. So and that's why you would see this is actually a bug that just shows you that the FD42 have mapped Panzer I ammunition. I know in the real world they actually use the same ammunition, but for technical reasons we make the mappings internally. So that will be fixed actually.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to start wrapping up. There's one thing, the Battle Vision screenshot contest just ended, I think, but we won't be able to show the winners. We'll do that next time. We'll show the winners of the screenshot competition, and I guess I will just mention one thing, is that we apparently have more and more players twitching our games, so if you're not watching us, I mean, keep stay on Twitch, and you'll find other people sharing their games, and some of them are actually quite hilarious to watch. So if you need to slack off at work or at school, watch it on your smartphone. And I guess what we will be doing next week, because I had it all set up, but we don't have time for it. Wanted to show more replays. Because he talks too much. Scroll down. You were pointing at him. I thought you wanted to blame him for something.
Oh yeah, we can go over for 5-10 minutes, I guess.
Can we?
Yeah.
5-10 minutes?
And we can have some chat QA maybe.
Do you want to show some of the replay then?
Oh yeah.
Let's show the replay.
Show the replay.
This one.
And then I can look at the chat and see if there's some interesting questions. There's some guy who wants the Krumlauf barrel for the SCG-44. That's awesome. That's the strangest thing ever.
What is it?
It's like a bent barrel that you can shoot around corners.
Oh, that thing.
That's like the pinnacle of crazy Nazi war technology.
But it's like, how are you supposed to... you can have a bullet that...
Yeah. And then you have to have an intricate system with mirrors in order to aim, which is also... I don't think they ever used it.
So this is the highest rated battle of yesterday, I think. And it's on the new map, of course.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, some nice pistol skills there.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, what did he get? That's the one thing that I find we should have on our replay tool is we should have the kill messages.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell what just happened. I guess what I can do is add I'm going to add the names so that we see them when they. I guess it's worth mentioning again. People have been asking for this for the replay tool.
Yeah.
Why don't we give it to the players? And we said it last time. I guess I'll repeat it. The replay tool is kind of still in development. It's
constantly in development.
Yeah.
So it would probably be one of those annoying things that once every time we release a new build, the replay tool would have to be rebuilt as well, and you cannot load old games into the new build.
Yeah.
So it's and for us to do it otherwise, it would be a huge task. So if we decide to release it for public at some point, it would be with like an alpha version, use on your own terms type stick on it. So it only very technical people should be using it. Yeah. But it would be nice though. I think it's an awesome tool. So and it's just pure fun to watch the games when people have been playing. So I would love it to if we could release it. Also, that's another thing. Is like releasing a replay tool. We have to probably be even more strict with what we do in the game because the replay tool might be used for creating cheats and stuff.
I guess it could. I'm not sure how.
I don't know. I know the programmers behind it are actually discussing what it would take to do it, and it's I think whenever I hear them talking, they end up in the there's a lot of work involved in that. And this and this and this.
But no, it's always fun to see how how like here I guess there's this whole pack of players trying to kind of claim. I think what was it, the one just before the bridge? If I'm not mistaken. I guess we could go and look a little bit at what's going on the chat. Yeah. So again, if I guess I wasn't saying it clearly enough, the Battle Vision contest is over, but we are not ready to show the winners. I think because they're not done judging, if I understand correctly. That's not done yet. And
are you guys thinking of making the upgrades less? What do less? See with one or more upgrades cost like 1,000 credits per game if you use it often. That depends. Obviously, the credit price for the upgrades is also used as a means to somehow control the overuse of super modded weapons. And that's basically it. We are doing adjustments to pricing and stuff actually constantly, so it's probably going to be even more.
I guess otherwise, do we have? It's kind of hard to focus on both. I'm trying to keep it interesting here in the replay.
That's actually one. Are you able to comment on the veteran membership changes? Yeah, that I see. There's a
I guess we can mention that.
There's a fire going on Reddit and stuff about this stuff, and it actually we're working on an improved membership, but the membership that we have now is programmed in a way that we would have to we have to make a lot of changes for the next
to the back end, right?
To the back end, and just in order, because the next kind of the next memberships we're going to release is something where we would like to have more options of different memberships and different options and all sorts of stuff, and basically just to limit that. We have some players who bought like yearly memberships and stuff like that. So just in order to not having to go into this we're going to refund your membership, but then what are we going to do with the extra cost and all that shit that just instantly turned into a very complicated calculation. We decided to just go, well, we're just going to limit the
duration,
the
right?
duration
So
in order to not the work wouldn't be too great when we make the new memberships.
So that's another thing that's coming.
Yeah, that's another thing that
not the next build. Right?
I think it's actually it's very important for us to get fixed, because that's one of the things that's on the back end that's not super well structured in the fact that we don't have a lot of options for changing the memberships. Basically,
here there's something happening. Fighting for the church.
So it's definitely not by. It's not something that we think is cool, but we just had to do it, and we're working our asses off to get the next membership stuff up and running. We are planning on doing these 1 year memberships and like longer ranges and all that stuff, and but we just ran into this problem that we actually need to upgrade the whole membership structure on the back end before we can do that, and just to limit the damage, we decided to cut the whole thing down to 1 month.
Started to really like the replay. It gives you spoilers in the bottom. I just noticed there's little markers there. So there's a black one for when the guy gets shot, and
excellent,
and the red one for when he scores a kill. So he got sniped.
Okay, I'm gonna read the chat. So,
and maybe take a few more and
let's see.
This is a new update, bro.
Yeah.
I guess there was another thing.
Come on, give me some more questions. Not these fix this. That's not a question. That's just like a demand.
Yeah. How have they talked about the scopes upgrade? He was taking care of his cat. Well, that I understand. Cats before cats before bros. Or something.
No, yeah. We did talk about a bit about STGs and scopes, right? Scoped STG, maybe. I think I've seen it somewhere.
My memory is not what it used to be, but we did mention scopes. But didn't we mention scopes before? Didn't we?
I think so. We are.
Yeah, we're talking about scopes. Yeah. So I mean, just us talking about scopes. I mean, that already is a good sign.
STG is taboo.
Yeah, we try not to mention it.
No, but actually, you can see we have some. We do have some goodies coming up at some point that will address these. It's actually a bit of a weapons package for the high-end infantry guys. So it's more, it's different features and stuff. So who is talking to us? Line?
Yeah.
Say something. STD?
The STD-44. Yes.
It's not STD.
Okay. So there's.
I don't know what STD.
No, what she was telling us is that the match that I'm showing right now was actually it's the highest rated, but only if you take into consideration the ratings given by the winners. So that's one thing. Okay, so I'll try next time to find a battle that was rated high by both the winners and the losers. Because that's always
we have to see. Come on, give me some questions. At cavalry,
yeah,
we need horses. Oh
yeah.
I know for a fact our art director really wants horses, and I think horses are cool. Obviously, they're a bit more harder to animate than a bicycle, I guess.
Yeah.
What does our animator guy over there say?
No comment.
Horses are cool. Horses were a big part of the war, so obviously, yes, I love horses.
Yeah.
So,
but I guess we should wrap it up. I guess we'll encourage you to put your questions on the forum thread for Devstream questions, and kind of make the usual recommendations. You can see this whole episode again on YouTube later on, and on Twitch for at least it's going to stay there until it's the oldest one and it gets moved out. What was I going to say also? That today we basically did a long Q&A session, and we talked a little bit about what's on the changelog for UTS, and we also mentioned that little glitch with the war funds is going to get fixed next week. So this being said, follow us on Twitch, follow us on Facebook, follow us with drones, and thank you for watching.
And thank you for playing.
Thank you for playing. Have a nice weekend.
Bye-bye.